welcome back to my channel. So I am giving this another shot. I am going to try a vlog for you tonight and tomorrow because I'm going to some really exciting events. Now, I don't yet have my gimbal. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I spoke about getting one of those gimbal things because obviously the reoccurring problem as to why I don't vlog, as to why people don't watch my vlog is because I generally shake the camera a lot because I talk with my hands, and as I talk with my hands, I move the camera. So we're fixing it. I'm investing in a gimbal so that I don't do that, but I have a really exciting event tonight and I've got a really exciting event tomorrow which I want to take you along to, and I obviously don't yet have the gimbal. So I'm gonna try my best. I've taken the tripod off because I think that was even worse. I'm holding this camera as still as I possibly can. I'm working out my biceps, so we'll see how we go. Basically, the event I'm going to tonight is called... So it's called Collective 101, How to Make Your Brand, #InstaFamous, right? And this is being held by the Collective magazine. So I'm not sure if you know that internationally. It's quite a big magazine here within Australia for like entrepreneurship and startups. But they're holding this How to Make Your Brand InstaFamous. So that's what I'm going to tonight. When I get back, or in the morning, depending on how dark it is or whether or not I drink afterwards, I will be sharing with you everything I learnt. So this vlog is going to be jam-packed with information. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you go easy on me if I do shake the camera. Thanks, guys. By the way, I guess because I haven't vlogged in a while, anyone who doesn't follow me on Instagram wouldn't have met this guy. So this is Harvey. He is a toy poodle. He's literally the new love of my life. Sorry, George, but yeah, everyone get used to seeing not only a cat, but now a dog as well. Can you please explain your strategy to the internet for what's going on here?
So the strategy is, I can't live without Snapchat and their filters.
So basically what Adriana does, because you know how there's that filter on Snapchat that makes you look really pretty, she films her story on Snapchat, then saves it to her phone and then uploads it to Instagram, to her Instagram story.
Well, I mean, we've got to look the look, so you know, you've got to understand everyone wants to look good on their Instagram, and I'm just going to be honest, and I mean, look, right there.
#authentic.
I love it.
So we had to get out of our Uber to walk the rest of the way because the traffic is horrendous. However, both of us are basically dressed like we're going to the beach, so this is not good, but we're hustling. We're trying to get there.
Hustle, baby.
We need to learn about Instagram. They serve drinks, which is the best thing in the entire world. Okay, so I may or may not have got a little bit drunk last night, but it was really good. I will, at the end of this vlog, tell you all the tips that I learned about like Instagram. To be honest, there was nothing groundbreaking, but I will definitely let you know what I learned. Today I'm actually at the Business Chicks event. It's called 9 to Thrive, so it's all about, I guess, women in business and entrepreneurship. So it's at the showgrounds, which is like just like a big festival place. It's going to be pretty cool, so I will take you along with me. I might be slightly hungover, so I need to go get a Coke or something. right, so there's like a photo booth thing where you can get a photo taken with this balloon. Yes, girl. And then they've got all these other like little signs, and I'm sorry, but this like, I don't know if you can hear me right now, but this fully resonated. I believe that girls should grow up knowing they can do anything. How good is that? Okay, so it is now literally about 3 days after I filmed all of the footage that you've just watched, but I actually realized that I never came back on and told you what I had learnt from the Instagram masterclass thing that I did go to. I think a lot of the reason for that was the fact that I didn't necessarily agree with a lot of what the person taking the masterclass was talking about. I also didn't really agree with the fact that they called us how to make your brand IG famous when, you know, or how to make your brand IG famous, yeah, it was, but a lot of it was like extremely basic strategies that would only be used for people with product-based businesses. But in saying that, I have the slides here. I'm going to tell you what they told me and kind of comment on what those strategies and tools are. So the first thing that they said is that you have to have a strategy. So you can't just be trying to grow your brand or trying to grow your business willy-nilly. You actually need to know what your objectives are, who your target audience is, what type of content you're going to create, and you need to have an outline for how you're going to deal with customer feedback. Obviously that being more of a business type of thing. If you're a personal brand, your strategy is you respond to everyone. But I think that is true in a sense. Yes, you definitely need to know who your audience are. I think that's the most important thing. If you don't know who your audience is, A, you might be in the wrong place using Instagram in the first place. But B, if you're not going to create content that's going to resonate with them, if you're not going to create content that's going to actually stop them in their tracks and make you flick from their, you know, feed or from a hashtag feed, then they're not going to come to your page. So you need to know exactly who they are, what type of content, what type of language, what type of images is going to resonate with them. In my opinion, that's probably actually the most important strategy for trying to grow an audience online, trying to grow a Instagram page, is actually knowing exactly who you're talking to and being consistent with your message to them. So I guess the strategy is quite important. Just the way that they explained it was a little bit different. Then they spent a lot of time going through the basics, so how you need to set up your profile, just ensuring that you've got an eye-catching profile picture, a really catchy bio, so you know you've got however many 150 characters or whatever to use within your bio. Make sure that they actually represent exactly who you are, what you do, and what benefit your audience will get out of that. I agree with that. I think it's really important to use the real estate that you do have, and obviously the link that you do have there, it's really important to put that to your most valued call of action. If you're trying to direct people to your videos, put your YouTube channel. If you want to direct people to your landing page, put it to that. Whatever your objectives are for your business, whatever your end goal is, work back from that and use your Instagram bio and link to basically represent what that is. Then they spoke a lot about aesthetics. Obviously you need to pay attention. They said pay attention to your color palette. I'm just reading off the slides, that's why I'm not looking at you. But you know, paying attention to your color palette, keeping your fonts consistent. I agree to this to a certain degree, but I think you again, you need to think of what the end goal is, right? I mean, you go look on like Marie Forleo's Instagram, Tony Robbins' Instagram, Oprah's Instagram, Ariana Grande's Instagram. Not like, it doesn't make sense. Like it all it is just pictures of them and their brands and what they're doing. It's very much a documentation platform for them to show you the BTS of their brand. And that's why I think it's really important for personal brands to do. I don't think you necessarily need to have this perfectly curated feed, because that's not what I think that people expect from you. I think obviously you're using Facebook as a marketing tool to use those links, use that ability to actually market and sell to people. But I think Instagram, for that type of business, for personal brands like myself, like coaches and things like that, then you should be using it just as a very BTS, behind the scenes kind of platform. If you're a fashion blogger, if you're a photographer, if you're a graphic designer, that's where it's obviously going to be important for you to be using a perfectly curated feed and to really be using the real estate in the squares, in the 12 or 9 squares, whatever you say, I don't know, using that to show off the aesthetics of your brand. If you have a visual type brand, if you have a communication based business like yourself, you're talking, then I think it's more important to show the behind the scenes. So you've got to think of your end goal. I don't think having a perfectly curated feed is what necessarily everybody needs. If your goal is to be an Instagram model, you obviously want to show pictures of yourself. If you want to show fashion, you show beautiful pictures. If you want to show this is me building my business, then it's got to be a little bit more raw and real. So always think of the end goal before you actually start planning out your feed, and don't necessarily I think that's another reason why people are so inconsistent with their Instagrams, is because they feel like they have to have this perfectly curated feed, when that's just not necessarily the case for some people. Then it also went into how you can use apps to help you plan your content. I talk about this all the time, just so that you can have things like scheduled. I use Planoly. They said Later, which used to be called Latergram, or Plan, P-L-A-N-N. They're really good ones. Make sure you're never using an app, however, that will post the picture for you, because that messes with Instagram's algorithm, that messes with their API, and that will actually not be good. You could get your account banned. So make sure you're using one of the apps where it gives you a notification and you have to physically go in and post the image. The next they spoke about is making sure that your Instagram is engaging. Now, their tips for that was that you have to use high quality photos, you have to post a variety of different types of shots and content types, and you have to create space within your feed. And now, as I said, I would agree with that type of strategy if you are very focused on the visuals, or if your business is very focused on the visuals, if you're a fashion brand, a product brand, a photographer, as I said, a graphic designer, if you're an interior stylist. If you had any of those types of businesses, 100%, they're good strategies. If you are a motivator, an educator, an empowerer, then the way that I would create an engaging Instagram is using it to communicate on a very raw, real, emotional level with your audience. So tell them how you're feeling, ask them questions, give them tips, give them advice, let them in on your wins, give them sneak peeks onto what projects you're doing. You know, all of that still can be portrayed via images, because obviously the whole purpose of Instagram is to show images, but there's a different way to go about it. Again, you don't have to have these perfect, beautifully curated pictures to have a highly engaged Instagram. And then they spoke a lot about extending your reach, and obviously their main strategy for that was to use relevant hashtag and all of that, which I think is obviously still a semi-beneficial strategy to use hashtags, in my opinion. Not everyone's going on and in my industry it's different. Like, if I was looking for a nice outfit, I might go onto Instagram and search a brand. If I was looking for a strategy for growing my audience, I wouldn't be going onto Instagram typing in hashtag strategy to grow your audience. I'd be going to YouTube, I'd be going to Facebook. It's all about thinking about your end goal. It's all about thinking about what your business does and whether or not Instagram is the right platform for you to be focusing your attention on. For me, it's just not the right place to be. All it is a place for me to hang out with my audience and let them into what I'm doing within my business. And I would very much think that that was the case for a lot of people who have these real type of like coaching, consulting type businesses and don't really have that visual element. It's more of a teaching element. So yeah, hashtags, they're great. They're absolutely great for, as I said, products, things like that. If I wanted to know what the best like natural toothpaste was, I could go in there and type hashtag natural toothpaste and actually see what was going on. But don't solely rely on hashtags as a growth strategy for your brand or for your business. Some other things to try, and I definitely don't agree with some of these, and if you're doing them, stop. One of their strategies to reach more people was to follow and unfollow people that don't follow you back. As a brand, I think that's so detrimental to your brand image. I think it's really frustrating for people who you potentially follow a couple of times, and I just think it makes you look like you're not confident in what you do because you've got to resort to quick fixes. But it said collaborate with people. Yep, great thing you can do. Definitely, I think collaboration's huge in any platform. Posting stories, again, that's all about the BTS. That's all about showing what's going on with your business. That's so important. And if you are really, I guess, promoting a product that you want to get out there, you can use Instagram advertising, which is a good strategy. And they said follow and follow, don't do that. And post often, which I talk about all the time, which is just consistency. And then evaluate, which I'm not going to go into now because I've got heaps of videos on that. And this is like a 10-minute clip now, which is not good because the video will be like 20 minutes long. But obviously, everyone who just did stay to the end then obviously just stayed for that to hear about Instagram. So I hope that was a little bit more insightful. If you've got any tips or if you've got any questions on Instagram, then please do not hesitate to leave them below and I can go into more detail. Obviously, Instagram is not where I put my focus, so I'm not an expert and I'm not claiming to be by any means. I'm just telling you what I know and what I've experienced with my clients. I've got clients who it's worked really well for. So if you have any questions, I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. I've kind of forgot that this was an actual full-long vlog. Now I've got to go edit the rest of it. If you have any questions about anything, if you enjoyed this vlog, please give it a thumbs up. I very much appreciate it. I'm getting a gimbal. I'm going to try to do these more often. I'm going to try to step up the game. George is like learning about photography and videography, which we'll talk about more because we want to step up this whole vlogging game. game, whatever it is. But yeah, so thank you so much everyone for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.